Good evening, you guys. It is me, Lucy Hargreaves, here again to present another episode of Chasing Justice, and welcome back to our Chasing Justice YouTube channel. So very quickly before today's video starts, if you would like to like today's video, if you want to, please subscribe to my channel. You're more than welcome to, and it really does help me out. And don't forget, while you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you want to, please hit that notifications bell and then you are informed of whenever I upload a video for this Chasing Justice YouTube channel. I know our time frame uploading wise is a little bit off, but please bear with me, there's a lot going on in my personal life. But we're not ranting on too much because today's video is not about me and my personal life. So, welcome back to Chasing Justice Season 1, Episode 3, The Case of Kevin Thomas Parle. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, today's video begins and the chase for justice continues. So, very quickly, before we get into any information on today's episode, here behind me, as you can see, is an age-progressed photo of what Kevin Thomas Parle may look like today. Kevin Thomas Parle is wanted by Crime Stoppers UK for 2 murders, that being of 1 Liam Kelly and 2 Lucy Hargreaves. If you are interested, we are going to, in fact, later on in the video, get into those specific 2 murders. At the time of the murders, Kevin Thomas Parle had a stocky physique and blue eyes, as well as a pale Caucasian complexion. And also, he had naturally ginger-coloured hair. However, because this murder was a considerable amount of time ago, he may have lost his hair, he may keep his head shaved like you see in the age-progressed photo, or he could have very easily dyed his hair to change it from his natural colour of ginger to whichever colour he's chosen. Kevin Thomas Parle is between 195 to 200 centimetres tall, that is 6 foot 5 to 6 inches tall. Also, physically, you will see that Kevin Thomas Parle has a scar about 1 inch on the left side of his face. So there are 2 possible aliases that Kevin could be going by right now, but there could very well be more. One being his nickname that he went by when he was in Liverpool, which was Hemp, and the other one was Joseph Kenneth Powell. So now we're going to move on to some possible locations that Kevin Thomas Parle could be located in currently. Now, just a quick note, I may completely mess up the pronunciation of these places, but do bear with me. Torrevieja, now that may be wrong, but this is an area of Spain, specifically located on Spain's Costa Blanca. He also has links to Costa del Sol, Alicante, Barcelona, Madrid, Liverpool, Australia, and the USA, although it is worth mentioning that none of these locations are 100% definitive, so technically speaking, Kevin Thomas Parle could be anywhere in the world, like absolutely anywhere. So we're going to talk about Kevin Thomas Parle's first victim, which was actually a 16-year-old boy from Liverpool named Liam Kelly. Saturday the 19th of June 2004, Liam Kelly was fatally shot twice, once in the chest and once, I believe, in the left arm. The shot to the chest was fatal, and I just want to say that it was the right arm, not the left arm, that was my bad. But the shot to the chest was fatal and was what took Liam's life, inevitably. So prior to the shooting, on the same night, Liam and a friend decided to drive to a location. This location being on Grafton Street, where later the shooting and death of Liam Kelly would occur. Grafton Street is located in Dingle, which is in Liverpool, UK. So when Liam and his friend arrived at this location on Grafton Street, they were believed to have been there because they were meeting an associate. Now, there is some rumours that Liam and his friend were going to meet a drug dealer, or there was some kind of dodgy drug deal thing going on there. I couldn't find 100% proof. And if you are new to my channel, I just want to say that I do not put anything in my videos that I cannot find some form of evidence to back up. So for that reason, I won't include that as an actual fact. So please take that with a grain of salt. So shortly thereafter, Liam and his friend had gotten out of the car. Liam was actually approached by 2 men. and one man was walking this way towards him, so Liam would have been able to easily see this man. But what Liam wasn't aware of was the man walking behind him as well, which kind of screams setup. Definitely something dodgy about turning up to a location in the night time and getting out of your car, and all of a sudden someone's approaching you from this angle and from this angle. Something not right there. One of these men was actually Kevin Thomas Parle, who ended up pulling the trigger and killing Liam. Now, when Liam had clicked onto the fact that not only was there a man in front of him or walking towards him, but there was also a man walking to the back of him. Now, obviously, like I mentioned prior, if you're in that situation, you're going to look at this one person walking towards you and freak out, and then to turn your back and look and see another person walking towards you. And Liam being only 16 at the time, you guys, of course, it's going to frighten the life out of him. And so Liam began to run and find his way to some kind of safety, and that is when they opened fire. I'm not sure if both men opened fire. I couldn't find that out definitively as well, but I definitely know that Kevin Thomas Parle pulled that trigger twice. Liam was successfully able to enlighten nearby neighbours of what had occurred, and obviously when the gunshot, people heard that too, and the commotion, and Liam was thankfully able to bang on a neighbour's door and alert them of what had gone on. However, Liam would die at the scene later on, shortly thereafter. The shooting had believed to be occurred at 2 a.m, so very late in the night, which again is suspicious. Now, allegedly, I must say, because I couldn't find any definitive proof, but allegedly Liam was arguing with the two associates over a £200 drug debt. 3 men were arrested in connection with Liam's murder, and Liam's murder did actually go to court, where these men were all later charged, and they actually did do prison time, and rightfully so. This trial took place in 2007. The 3 men had collectively told the courts that it was in fact Kevin Thomas Parle, a grown man, who had pulled the trigger twice on a 16-year-old boy. The Merseyside police did in fact conduct a full-length and full-scale investigation of Liam's murder. Now, Kevin Thomas Parle was actually arrested for Liam's murder, and again, rightfully so. However, Kevin Thomas Parle was bailed. Why? This is a man that's killed not only a person, but a 16-year-old boy. Why is this man allowed to get bail? And after being bailed, Kevin Thomas Parle was due to show back up in court, and surprise, surprise, he didn't. And later there was an arrest warrant put out for murder and failure to turn up in court for Kevin Thomas Parle. So as always, behind me is the age-progressed photo. It's slightly different. There have been a few that have been released of Kevin Thomas Parle. I will try and link them below if you're interested. But this is an age-progressed photo of Kevin Thomas Parle, and this is 16-year-old Liam Kelly. This grown-ass man literally shot a 16-year-old boy. Twice, once fatally, and they allowed him bail and they allowed him to get away. Why? Police believe that it is highly, highly possible, although not 100% confirmed, so take this with a grain of salt. It's highly likely that people that are connected to Kevin Thomas Parle, that be friends, family, loved ones, those who he considers close to him, the investigating services and police do believe that Kevin Thomas Parle's friends, associates, whatever you want to call it, have information on him, and they do know where he is in fact located, but choose not to say. So not only was Kevin Thomas Parle put onto Crime Stoppers Most Wanted and was one of the most wanted men in the UK, he was also one of the more wanted men in Spain. As you can see behind me, just to explain to you guys really, really quick, there was literal banners being posted across Spain with Kevin Thomas Parle's photo on them in order to try and capture him, because they did believe, or they had certain suspicion that he was located in the Spain area or areas around Spain. Kevin Thomas Parle has remained uncaptured and has remained on the run for 13 years, almost as long as Liam lived. I'm pointing this out specifically because later in the video we're going to get into a point that kind of infuriates me, so just bear that in mind. That he's been on the run for 13 years and that the police and investigating services, they highly believe that he is around the Spain area and Spain-ish areas. Please, please, please keep that in mind for later on in the video. Both British and Spanish police had actually made appeals to the public, both in the UK and in Spain, for anybody that has any information on Kevin Thomas Parle to come forward, or if you see this man or you run into this man, come forward, contact the following necessary services, so on and so forth. However, nobody did, which does support the theory of maybe people that are close to Kevin Thomas Parle, maybe they do know where he is located and they're choosing not to say. If it was, hypothetically speaking, involved with the drug life, maybe they didn't feel safe revealing where he was. Because Kevin Thomas Parle, like I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, he didn't just kill one person, he killed two. Not only that, Kevin Thomas Parle was dangerous and he was smart and he was intimidating physically. So a lot of people that were close to him may, hypothetically speaking, of course, but they may feel too scared or intimidated into being silent, therefore they don't come forward. But however, we don't know. I'm just choosing to speculate. Now, a very quick disclaimer, this next case, the case of Kevin Thomas Parle's second victim, Lucy Hargreaves, may be disturbing. And if you guys don't want to watch this part, I understand, you can skip forward. I will put a timestamp below in the description if you just want to skip straight ahead. If you don't want to hear this next bit, I understand, but it is quite disturbing. Lucy Hargreaves was a 22-year-old mother of two children, seen behind me here. Here is Lucy, and here are her two children, and Lucy again. And as you can see, she was a young mother, and it's just tragic, you guys. This next part is tragic, and did genuinely upset me because Lucy had absolutely nothing to do with this alleged drug feud that was going on. Like, a totally innocent victim had her life taken over something she had no involvement in. Just let that sink in. However, I do want to mention that police do suspect that Lucy was not in fact the targeted victim for that night. They do believe that Kevin Thomas Parle and a few of his associates that broke into Lucy's home were after Lucy's boyfriend, who was in fact located upstairs in the home with the children. This is how messed up this man is. He waited until these children were asleep in their home to break in and, in his mind, allegedly, possibly, to kill their father. And when he couldn't find their father, he killed their mother, who was innocent, who had no involvement with this alleged drug feud going on. Now, it is believed that three men had broken into Lucy Hargreaves' home, and she was actually asleep on the couch under the duvet. The duvet was allegedly covering her face. So when the three men broke in, as well as Kevin Thomas Parle, they weren't entirely sure who was on the couch. So obviously they've had to pull back the duvet covers and look to see this 22-year-old woman who is totally innocent in this situation. I keep stressing that point for a reason. And they shoot her. He shoots her with a shotgun when she's sleeping. When her two children, her two babies, as you can see in these pictures, very young children, are upstairs sleeping. And that's not even the worst part. They then attempted to set the house on fire. There is two children, two babies asleep upstairs, and these three grown men shot the mother, who was innocent in this situation, and now they decided, let's torch the house down. This is how sick and twisted these people are. And I'm sorry, I do apologise that I'm passionate in this video and slightly annoyed, but when it comes to people who are innocent and when it comes to innocent children and stuff like this is happening, it knocks me sick. This occurred in August 2005, and more specifically, Lucy Hargreaves' house was located in Walton on Lambron Road. I may have butchered that pronunciation up. An article that was published via the dailystar.co.uk informed us of an ex-policeman who was taking it upon himself to investigate Kevin Thomas Parle, his crimes and his potential location. Now, this ex-police officer revealed that he believed that Kevin Thomas Parle was in fact dating the daughter of a London cabbie. Now, I do believe a cabbie is a taxi driver. If I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments down below. However, the original source of this information was revealed on a BBC podcast, which was a podcast report from the Echo. And of course, around this time was when the age-progressed photos of Kevin Thomas Parle were released to the public. And there was a few of them. If I remember correctly, there was either 3 or 5 of them, kind of depicting Kevin Thomas Parle with slightly more age to him. In some pictures he had glasses, some pictures he had a bald head, in some pictures he had little stubble on his head, some pictures he was clean shaven. You guys get the picture. So again, this Daily Star article goes into more about how Kevin Thomas Parle is as a person. They described him as somebody that may come off as a charmer, somebody that is nice, somebody that is your everyday kind of person, approachable, witty, chatty, just all around just an everyday person, nothing that would make him particularly stand out. Even now more so, they also suggest that his physical body shape may have changed. He may have blended in with everybody, whereas before he had more of a muscular physique, and now he may have put on some weight, he may have changed his body type. Like I said, it all could possibly, allegedly, hypothetically, be in an attempt to change how he looks physically in order to avoid people knowing who he is, or as many people know who he is. However, they do suggest that the real Kevin Thomas Parle is in fact somebody who is violent, somebody who is intimidating, somebody who is of a risk-taker type personality. So very well could be careless, not have a lot of empathy for other people, kind of not the man you would want to be around or be associated with if you have any common sense. Now, it's also worth mentioning that this ex-cop believes that Kevin Thomas Parle could possibly be located in Liverpool. Yes, that's right. They do reckon that if he, this ex-policeman, they do reckon that if he is not still currently residing in Liverpool, he's definitely been back over this 13-year period. Because let's not forget, this is where Kevin Thomas Parle spent a lot of his time, in Liverpool or in Spain. Also, because Kevin spent so much time in Liverpool, he obviously had a lot of friends and a lot of local people that could possibly be willing to cover up his identity, his location, for whichever reason. We don't know. So Kevin Thomas Parle was apparently private schooled. So he's definitely a little bit more smarter than I would say the average person. You know, private school is something you pay for. And I would guess, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I would guess you would get more of an in-depth education, especially when you're paying for it. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I think of when I think private education. I think more in-depth, more intensive. You learn a little bit more, possibly a lot more. I don't know, I've never been privately schooled. I don't know, let me know in the comments. Let's start a discussion and the chase for justice continues. Now, with this alleged drug theory, they do believe that Kevin Thomas Parle was making a substantial amount financially from dealing drugs in Spain, specifically the Costa Blanca area of Spain. And the Costa Blanca area of Spain could, quote, be the key to solving where Kevin Thomas Parle is located. Now, this ex-cop and the other people that were involved in this little investigation that wasn't the actual police investigating, they do believe that Kevin Thomas Parle allegedly has not been making that much of an effort in Spain to keep himself hidden. Which is the part of the video where I kind of low-key get infuriated. From the article, he had allegedly been seen out at fancy restaurants, trying cars at car places, going out shopping, going out with people. There was even a report that I found that he was allegedly involved in a fight when him and his friend were allegedly doing cocaine, and they were nearly involved in a brawl in it was either a pub or a restaurant. The article also stated that they do also believe that Kevin Thomas Parle has become accustomed to and has adapted to the Spanish way of living. And again, allegedly, they do believe that he could still be coming to Liverpool every now and again, because like I said before, he's been on the run now for 13 years, since 2007. So obviously his age could have changed. Obviously his age has changed physically. You do show signs of aging as you go up and up and up in age. And obviously his looks could have changed more likely than not. But then again, if he's being as careless as they're saying up in this top paragraph, if you care to pause and read, you're more than welcome to, then let me just say that if you have alleged proof that this man is living in Costa Blanca in Spain, drug dealing allegedly, and isn't making much of an effort to hide himself, nor change his appearance judging from the facial reconstructions, why haven't you arrested this man? Now, somebody let me know if you study law, or I don't know, if you know, just let me know. Why haven't they arrested him yet? If they have all of this alleged information on where he is, why haven't they made a conscious decision, both the Spanish government and the UK government, to come together and get this man? Why? That baffles my mind. Why? If you know, please let me know, because it has been driving me crazy trying to figure that one out. This is a man that's murdered 2 people now, and if you have all of this information on where he is, why aren't you doing anything to get him? It's 13 years later. Don't you think now's the time to get in there and get him? There has been a considerable amount of reports of people that have stated they have seen Kevin Thomas Parle. However, none of these sightings, just like in the Robert Fisher case, none of these sightings were 100% confirmed, which sparks the question once again of why? Why were these not confirmed? Why were these not looked into? Does anybody from the Merseyside police want to answer that? Do the Spanish police want to answer that? Because I've been looking for answers and I can't find any. So I need them to explain that. The hunt for Kevin Thomas Parle is considered global, and the public are warned, please do not approach this man. He is dangerous, he's killed 2 people, and he could very well be armed, and this man is involved in the drug world allegedly. This man could be a risk to the general public. So if you do see this man, or you think you see this man, please get in contact with the local police or Crime Stoppers, any relevant sources you guys do need to contact. If you do come into contact with Mr. Parle, I will leave a link down below in the description box, with all necessary links too. There is a £20,000 award for anybody that has any information leading to the arrest or capture of Kevin Thomas Parle. And just on behalf of Liam Kelly's family and Lucy Hargreaves' family, I would just like to say to you guys, if you do know any information, please, please, please don't be afraid to get in touch with Crime Stoppers or Crime Stoppers Anonymous. There are those options, or if you want to go to the police and get it done, I encourage you to do that. Please don't cover for this man anymore if you are. Please don't. This man has killed 2 people. This man does not deserve to be out there living in Costa Blanca, living the high life, making a fortune off drugs. He doesn't deserve that. He deserves to be rotting in a prison cell for the rest of his life. And it's a shame they don't have the death penalty in this country. It really is a shame. And again, just to remind you guys, I want to remind you guys of the two possible aliases that Kevin Thomas Parle uses, that being Hemp and that being Joseph Kenneth Parle, but there could be more. So if you have any information in regards to the whereabouts of Kevin Thomas Parle, you can contact any of the following, which I will read out aloud for you guys, and I will also link in the description box down below if you guys are interested. I do recommend, especially for my Chase and Justice channel, if you guys look in the description box, there is credited sources, which is basically where I get all of my information from, and there's also relevant links to like websites, people you can contact. There's a lot in the description boxes, so I highly urge you guys to check out the description boxes down below. So if you are in the UK, you can contact the non-emergency police line at 101 quoting 05060 60094, or you can contact the UK emergency police line, which is 999. If you would like to report to Crime Stoppers, I will leave the link to the Crime Stoppers UK website down below. And if you wish to contact Crime Stoppers anonymously, which is an available option for you guys out there, you can contact the following number: 0800 555 111. And also, if you are living in the UK, you can contact the Matrix Serious and Organised Crime Team. Now, this is a relatively new team that was formed, I believe, by Merseyside Police in an attempt to help stop organised crime or cut down on organised crime, things such like drug dealing, guns, attack, like really violent attacks, like knife attacks, guns attacks, also things like drugs, drug trafficking, drug selling, drug distribution, so on and so forth. It's a relatively new team, and if you guys are interested in looking more into the Matrix Serious and Organised Crime Team, I will leave some information down below and a possible link to their website if they have one. But the contact number is 0800 230 06000. And if you have any information on the murder of Lucy Hargreaves, you can obviously contact the non-emergency police line again, which is 101, the emergency police line, which is 999. You can also report to Crime Stoppers and Crime Stoppers Anonymous, which I've just mentioned. And finally, you can contact 0151 777 8617. Also in the description box down below, I will try to link if I can find any Spanish numbers or Spanish websites that you guys can visit if you wish to report any sightings, or if you know Kevin Thomas personally and you have a heart, please do the right thing. You know, this man has been on the run for 13 years. He sat and he killed two people. Like, my final thoughts, I can't even get my final thoughts together because I'm saddened, I'm angry. There is alleged proof that investigating services know where he is and they still haven't made a move. The fact that a 16-year-old boy was shot, not once but twice, and one shot being fatal. A mother who was young, innocent, had two young babies in the house, wasn't involved in the drug scene from the research I've done. It's just twisted, and Kevin Thomas Parle should not be allowed to be a free man. Not when you've killed two people over some stupid money, allegedly, some stupid drug money. Is that worth taking somebody's life? Was £200 allegedly worth taking Liam's life? Was it worth taking Lucy's life because you wanted to get to her boyfriend? Allegedly. But my final thoughts, you guys, I just want to say this case was really triggering for me. It really made me angry. It really made me sad because there's a lot of evidence that is, like I will say, is alleged. I haven't seen 100% proof, so I'm not going to sit there and say it's factual. But if this evidence is true and there is hard evidence to back it up, Why haven't you arrested Kevin Thomas Parle? Why? Why? And if Kevin Thomas Parle is watching this, I know a lot of people from my research as well have been scared to speak up against this particular case. I'm not, and I will say you are not a man, and sooner or later they're going to get you. And sooner or later you will have to pay for what you've done to these people. And sooner or later you will have to, you know what I mean? Karma gets us all. So that's my final thoughts on this case. If I came off a little bit aggressive or a little bit angry or passionate, whatever you want to call it, I don't apologise, because I think we already know what I think. I've rambled on for 30 minutes, but this case is just one of those that gets me infuriated, and I really do hope they find this man, and I really do hope that he pays. And like I said, in the ideal world, they should bring the death penalty back for things like this, especially if you're killing one person and then you're killing somebody else. Like, I don't know, I'm going to stop rambling on, but yeah, this case really did get me just to a whole nother level. But I want to say thank you to you guys for watching so much. I appreciate every single view. And I have noticed we've hit 3 subscribers, so I'm very chuffed about that. Thank you so much. I know that might not seem a lot to you guys, but that is a lot to me. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for the support on this channel, for each and every single person that views this video. You are helping somebody else's story to be out there. So thank you so much, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, the chase for justice continues, and I will see you guys in the next one.